No offense, but this is more of the cars that you laugh at, not laugh with. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 2011 Honda CRZ. A very interesting car, actually based on the second generation CRX, at least in spirit and in name. The CRZ stands for Compact Renaissance Zero. You gotta love when the Japanese have their acronyms that don't quite land, but it references essentially a compact, sporty hybrid. They were trying to do something new here. Rather than having an econo box that was just focused on saving the planet, can we make a hybrid that's actually fun to drive as well? And hence the CRZ was born. The car came out in 2010 for the 2011 model year and was produced up until 2016. I gotta say, it's actually aged pretty well. It looks nice. It's got these swooping triangular taillights and these shoulders here that give it a little bit of a sportier look than you would otherwise expect for a little Honda. MSRP for these back in 2011 was $32,000, which is actually more than I was expecting for a car like this, if I'm being honest. The car's powered, it's a hybrid, right? So it's powered by a 1.5 liter LEA motor, same powertrain from the original Insight from 1999, changed slightly. The gasoline engine is making 112 horsepower, but it has the integrated motor assist hybrid system that actually places the electric motor between the engine and the transmission. Think of an Oreo cookie with the engine transmission as the two cookies and the filling being the electric motor assist. The owner placed Waterfall Eco Dynamic tires. It's a square setup, 16-inch wheels with a 195 section width in all four corners. He says it only costs $46 at Walmart. Gotta love the, the carbon fiber little sticker on that side trim there. It's a good looking car though, and I really do love this color. It's a beautiful blue. Very sporty, definitely pops. In terms of practicality, this hatchback is actually pretty spacious. Look at that. A lot of cargo space. Over here, these do fold down. In other markets, in Japan and such, these are actually two rear seats. But in America, they said you're too fat. And I mean, even if you were really small, you don't really have much legroom at all. But Americans only get a shelf. And with that being said, let's see how she drives. Now again, 112 horsepower from this 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. And the electric motor is another 12 horsepower, but you don't get 124 horsepower, you get 122 because of where the peak horsepower occurs in terms of RPM. 127 pound-feet of torque. The car weighs 2,700 pounds, so not very ideal power to weight ratios if we're being honest. Incredibly light steering. Not a lot of feedback at all. It is pretty numb. You can get a slight amount of texture in the road, but it almost seems like it's by accident and not intentional. Right now we're driving in normal mode, and the different modes here control throttle response as well as your steering weight. So if I put this into sport, you can see that the gauge turns red. The 6-speed CVT, which does the gear mimicry, even though it doesn't need to, it revs higher, get more to that power range, that power band. You definitely have a more sensitive throttle response. Steering also weights up, but you don't get any more feedback or feel. It's just artificial weighting to make it feel a little sportier. Not the best sounding Honda naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, if I'm being honest, guys. It's shifting me automatically at 6,000 RPM. The red line is at 6,200. Definitely not the strongest of Honda engines, which it comes as no surprise that a lot of owners actually K-swap these. Add a little bit more pizzazz to the CRZ driving experience. I'm actually surprised that the steering speed is pretty fast, so it makes the front end feel pretty darty. But there's a little bit of slop, and part of that, of course, is due to the fact that this car has 177,000 miles on it. So it's not going to be as tight and well put together. Vacuum cleaner of an engine. I guess the electric motor does help a little bit with the lower end torque, but you still are only working with 122 horsepower, 127 pound-feet of torque. But it helps round out that power and torque band. One thing I did find irritating is the auto start stop is way too aggressive. There it didn't actually trigger, but I find even at the briefest stop it'll go and then your AC stops blowing air. All right, we're gonna get out of this manual mode. Oh, it has 7 simulated gears. There we go. The paddle shifters are always funny in a CVT, but there you have it, 20 teens, sign of the time. Now the brakes, complete opposite of linear, by the way. This is like a logarithmic curve where initially there's nothing, 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 and then it's like, okay, full stop. There's no straight line. It just a whoop, parabolic curve. Throttle requires a lot, even in sport mode, requires a lot of travel to get going. Normally Honda is really dialed in with its various inputs, but this car is an example where maybe they didn't focus on the driving balance and the dynamics and the driver inputs as much as some other more focused vehicles. But now you're probably thinking, hey, it's a hybrid. Part of the appeal of a sporty hybrid is the MPG, to which I would say it's rated at 35 miles per gallon in the city and 39 on the highway. Not as high as you would expect for a small, underpowered little car. I mean, a lot of the contemporary cars, or the cars that came a few years prior, were already hitting very similar numbers. Oh, that's a lot of body roll. Wow. This car is only 2,700 pounds, but it feels much heavier. It does not handle its weight well. So let's actually turn off traction control. See, auto start stop. A lot of shakes, a lot of rattles, but they're not pleasant. They're not like a raw, oh, this is really engaging. It's more of like a, you just feel very budget with it, you know what I mean? The base model open diff, so not putting the traction down very well. They did have a version that was supercharged, manual transmission, and they did also offer an LSD if you didn't want to have a little bit more performance in your Honda CRZ or CRZ if you're from the other side of the pond. Owner put in this aftermarket unit. He added a reverse cam, a mic for his Bluetooth calls. There we go, start stop. I'm getting toasty. Not what I like, but I do like manual handbrake. Oh, this car just really sounds like it's struggling. It's like whining, it's complaining when you're pushing it hard. It's not happy to do so. No offense, but this is more of the cars that you laugh at, not laugh with, if you know what I mean. Yeah, this thing's not very happy to turn and put the power down, front wheel drive. It's interesting. They were spinning this as a sporty hybrid. It's not very sporty. It looks sporty, I guess, but when it comes to the actual driving dynamics, even in sport mode here, you can see the red on the center part of the gauge. Not really doing it. Very grabby brakes. Trying to play around with some weight transfer there. Yeah, definitely a very unique vehicle. And I think unique is probably the best way. Unique and quirky is what I would say. In terms of storage, you have this really tiny cubby. You can barely fit a garage door opener in there. Another really small one over here. 2, 3 cup holders, small storage pockets on the door. Overall, it's a quirky little derp of a car, but sometimes that quirky and derpy nature is exactly what makes cars so lovable. But let me know, what do you guys think? Honda CR-Z, did Honda hit or miss? Let me know with a comment down below. Much love, my friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you have a cool, unique car and you want it reviewed and you live in the Las Vegas or California areas, then reach out at jubbalandcars.com. Much love, my friends, and I'll see you guys in that next one.